What's up, dudes? Welcome back to another Friday. This is episode 4 of Shop Talk. It's pretty awesome. Today, we've got ourselves a Founders All Day IPA. Pretty pumped about it. The lady at the store said it was pretty good. I've never had it before. Ooh, hoppy. Very nice. So, with it being Easter and things like that, today's going to be kind of a short porch, as they say. We got some preparing to do. I'm having all my family in for Easter tomorrow, and so we've got a lot of preparing to do. But I just wanted to thank everybody for hanging out, everybody that's been hanging out for all 4 episodes, and those who have just been able to make it to even 1. Thanks, everybody, for your support. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. I really enjoy just talking to you guys and chit-chatting and going over camera specs and all that stuff. So, a lot of fun. Thank you very much. So, we're going to get into the format here. If you haven't seen the videos from this week, Mondays was how to make professional thumbnails for your videos for free. It's very cool. If you want to check out the video, it is on my channel. It's very easy. I always struggled with making thumbnails because I'm constantly thinking about like video and lighting and content, and then tags and titles and descriptions and all of that stuff. And there's so much to think about whenever you're uploading, and thumbnails always just happen to take a back seat. Like, I'd be done filming, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't take a picture. I didn't take a thumbnail. So, I was kind of hanging out on Canva.com, and it just hit me that they have templates for all types of different social media. So I just typed in there YouTube thumbnail, and it came up, and they had a bunch of different templates and things like that to use. So it was very cool, and the design of the text and all of that stuff, that's all interchangeable. You can upload your own photo. You don't have to use their graphics. You can upload your own font to that website if you want. So it's pretty cool. If you want to stay consistent, you can keep using the same thumbnail, but just change the picture. So it's a pretty neat thing. Wednesday's video was how to connect with your audience, and I actually used footage from Monday's episode. It was like the depression style infomercial where I was all like depressed in my head, my hand, and all that stuff. And I just went through a few different steps that you could take to really connect with your audience on an emotional level. Even if it was funny. I mean, nobody's getting that bummed out about how to make YouTube thumbnails. I really hope nobody's that depressed about it. If you are, check out Monday's video, and I've cured your depression. But it just goes over how you can, connect with your audience on different levels through different times of the creative process. In the beginning of everything, pre-production, you can, it's all about the text that you write and the script and the content. And during production, it could be lighting and the mood you have on set and the different things that you're integrating into your shoot. And then, in editing, what we focused on Wednesday was color correction, voiceover, any kind of sound effects, music, things like that. So it was a really good week. I enjoyed making these videos for this past week. So look forward to Monday's video, because I think that's something that is going to kind of draw a lot of attention, because I'm a member of a lot of different Facebook groups that are geared towards YouTube, and being a creator and things like that. And, you know, the number one thing that I see all of the time is people asking, what types of gear should I have? What type of camera should I get? And all of that different stuff. And it really doesn't matter, especially if you're starting out, or even if you're you're been vlogging for a long time and you just don't want to spend money on camera gear. You don't have to. And, you know, so Monday's video is all about shooting with your phone and how to get really cinematic and compelling imagery from your phone. So that should be a really cool episode. I'm really excited for that one. I already filmed it, so I'm ahead of the game this week. It's pretty awesome. Like I said, with this weekend being Easter and I have family coming in, and, you know, got to spend time with all the family and the kids and things like that, so it'll be a good time. But you know, we're not talking about any lens adapters or anything like that. Which is kind of funny because I had this video planned. I have like a big spreadsheet of different video ideas that I want to do. One for like video and one for photography. And just this week there was like tons and tons of buzz about that Moment lens that you hook onto your phone and it shoots like, it's like an anamorphic lens and things. And then Peter McKinnon did a video about that and all of this, and it was hilarious that it's a coincidence that this was my next video on the docket, you know, just a couple weeks ago. So, man, this beer is delicious. So, I'm going to go ahead and I just want to get into, there weren't that many questions this week, but that's all right because it's going to be a short episode. So I'm going to jump in here. I actually put all the questions on my computer this time so I don't have to sit here and stare at my phone, so that's pretty fun. Skip from Twitter. I loved your video about Canva, but there really aren't that many templates. You actually, that question kind of prompted what I said a little bit ago. There are a good bit of templates. There's probably 30 templates in there that you can use for YouTube thumbnails, but you don't, if you, like, a lot of the pros say that you need to be consistent with your thumbnails. So if you have a certain vibe to your thumbnail where, like, maybe on like one side of your screen, like your text is all down here on one side of the screen, if that's the template that you use, then keep using that template and just change your title every time. And the picture in the background, you can change that every single time to, you know, portray what you did that week. So the fact that there aren't a ton of templates on Canva, that really, to me, doesn't make a difference, because I think that, you know, you should try and stay pretty consistent with your thumbnail design. I don't stay consistent with my thumbnail design at all whatsoever, so maybe I should practice what I preach. But Canva is a good resource. It's free. You can sign up and you can get some really nice designed thumbnails, and it's very easy to use. I mean, you just go in there and replace the text or replace the picture, and you've got yourself a pretty nice looking thumbnail. There's all kinds of filters that you can go and, you know, mess with and apply to your picture and things like that. And there's tons of graphics, so that's really cool. And every once in a while, I think, like, if you use a certain graphic or something like that, it might be $1, and you can just hook your bank card up to Canva.com, and if you want to use something that is $1, when you download it, it just says like, hey, this is $1, and, you know, it's only $1, so that's not bad. Franklin B on Twitter, what is your main camera when you shoot video? So my main camera that I use to shoot video lately, and as of last year, is the Canon 80D. I always feel like I'm saying ADD, like attention deficit disorder, which I probably have. But I also have the Canon 80D. It's a really nice camera. I really like it. I'll grab it real quick. So this is the Canon 80D. It's a pretty nice camera. It does have a crop sensor. It's not full frame, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, I really like this camera a lot. It's got the flip out screen, so it's really nice to use, like when you're shooting yourself, so you can like frame yourself up and, you know, just check and make sure that you're looking fresh. I like it a lot. As far as like, you know, functionability and things like that, I don't even know if that's a word. Functionality. It does have a mic port, obviously, and it's got a separate headphone jack, which is pretty nice if you're trying to like monitor audio, if you're out on a shoot or something like that. Very rarely do I like monitor my audio when I make a video. I just check out the audio bars, make sure I'm not clipping at all. But it's pretty fun. It's a nice little camera. I enjoy it a lot. It has some decent low light capabilities. It's not the best, but it's pretty neat. Here's that rocking on lens that I got that I was talking about last week. Like, look at that convex right there. That's like when the lens comes out like that. It's pretty nice. It's a 14 millimeter 2.8 prime lens. It does not have any autofocus capabilities, but it's pretty nice. I've been shooting my videos with it for, I think the last 2 or 3 videos have been with this lens, so I'm pretty pumped on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I used to use my 6D, but the issue with that was I couldn't see anything. Like, it doesn't have an articulating screen on it. And there was another problem with it, and I don't really remember. Maybe it was something to do with the mic jack is also the headphone jack or something like that. But I'm really glad that I ended up picking up that camera, and I did pick this up for like a wedding, like a backup camera to my shoots and weddings and or anything like that. So it's pretty nice. I was using the Canon T2i for a little while. I used that as like an overhead cam to shoot down, because if the thing came crashing down, I really didn't care. You know, that thing served its purpose for many years. But yeah, Canon 80D, you should check it out. Robert on Twitter. Robert on Twitter says, what kind of gimbal do you use? What kind of gimbal do you use for your DSLR? I actually don't even have a gimbal for my DSLR. It really, I don't know. I never really wanted to really get one. They're pretty expensive, because like I didn't really want like one of those handheld gimbals. I was thinking more about, if I do end up getting one, I'm probably gonna get like the DJI, what is that thing called? Their little gimbal thing. I used to use one all the time. I totally forget what it's called, but some kind of like a, you know, a big stabilizer or something like that. But I really do think that those handheld gimbals really have come a long way. But just knowing that I used to use that bigger rig all the time, and they get heavy. They get really, really heavy, and I couldn't really imagine, like, you know, holding this and like a big 3-axis gimbal. So I think that would probably, you know, be a little too heavy. But I don't know. I have kind of been checking them out lately, but I don't use one right now. Most of the stuff that I shoot handheld or locked off on a tripod. I'll usually I've kind of started a kind of like a format, you know. I'll do my intro and outro on sticks. I'll do it pretty locked off, or maybe if I'm using like a big Manfrotto like magic arm or something like that, you know, get the camera nice and close to me, I'll use that. Pretty locked off. Or my slider. I've been using my slider a good bit just for, you know, just for cool shots, or like just to, you know, to add a little bit of movement into my shots and things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I am gonna go check out those gimbals, but I don't know that I'm gonna be pulling the trigger on it just yet. That was Robert from Twitter. Grove, that's a pretty sweet name. Grove. Grove from Instagram. My only Instagram question. I was a little bummed out about that. Any advice on a set of lights? I want tungsten, but I think LED is the cheaper route. Yeah. Tungsten lights are expensive. And if you get cheap tungsten lights, you can run into, you know, some issues. I've definitely run into issues. When I first got my set of tungsten lights, video lights, I got a package deal from a company called Brytech. And there were two 1,000 watt lights and a 650, which I still use. But my first shoot with those, I was still in college. My whole entire film class was with me, and somebody had signed out all of the lighting kits. So my class, we were at a hotel and we were shooting kind of like a bar scene, and I brought my lights to use, and I'm like, oh yeah, everything's going to be fine, and blah, blah, blah. And one of my lights actually caught fire, and everyone was flipping out, and I was like, oh my God, we're going to burn down a hotel. And it was terrifying. But since then, I don't know if it was just like a bad, I don't know if it was just a bad bulb or a bad something, whatever it was corrected itself, and now everything is completely fine. So they have not caught fire since that fateful day. But they are, you have to get some decent quality lights because they are kind of a little unpredictable, I guess. You know, LED, the one thing that you got going for you with LED is if you have power, then you have light. The thing with tungsten lights is if you have power and you have a good fuse and you have a good light bulb, then you're in good shape. But say your bulb blows, then you have to, you know, you got to cut. And then everyone's sitting around on set waiting for you, or waiting for, you know, your assistant on set to unscrew the glass on the faceplate, take that off, pull the bulb, push another bulb in, screw the glass back down, put the softbox back on, throw it back up on a stand. I mean, that is a pain in the ass. But the quality of tungsten light, in my opinion, is just so much better. I love tungsten light. I'm not a humongous fan of LED, but they are making some like really nice LEDs these days that have a whole spectrum of light temperature and things like that. So you can match a tungsten light pretty close. So it's kind of up to you, and it's kind of what you think. I mean, the fact that you even said tungsten light kind of leads me to believe that you know what you're talking about. So I would just say that, you know, go with your gut. Think about what you think would be more helpful, more portable, things like that. I know that setting up soft boxes and all of that, I just talked about all that tungsten prep and all that stuff. It is kind of a pain in the ass. You have to show up to shoots a lot earlier than if you were using, you know, some really easy LEDs with a nice, you know, diffusion taped to the front of it. But LEDs can be expensive too. I mean, I got a few cheap LEDs. This one right here that I'm kind of using as like, you know, a side light. I don't know if you can see this guy right here. Where's it at? It's over there. But oh man, I just messed my camera up. But yeah, so I mean, LEDs can be you know, just as finicky as tungsten lights, if you know, if you're talking about color and temperature and matching color temp and stuff like that. Everything's a pain in the ass sometimes, so you really just have to go with your gut, see what you feel, and go from there. I don't know, but so there's not much activity today in the old chat window. Zero, actually. So, you know, that's fine. I know it's a busy weekend and everybody's out preparing. Most people didn't even work today, which is pretty awesome. I had to run to the store to get all kinds of different things for Easter and things. So I've been fighting the crowds all day long. So I'm probably just going to call this one. My phone's blowing up, so I'm guessing that my girlfriend's at the store buying some more things for Easter. But I hope you guys, if you celebrate Easter, I hope that you have a great Easter weekend. Just enjoy it, hang out with the family, and have a good time. So, cheers, and I will talk to you guys next week. Don't forget to check out the videos on Monday and Wednesday. Monday is going to be a banger, I promise. See ya.